Wow, it's amazing at the farm. You hear testimonies over that. You know, you come through the gates and you literally switch kingdoms from darkness to light. What amazes me more is there's programs out there that are $30,000 to $60,000 up to for 3 to 6 months. And if your son or your daughter came home and said, "I tried to commit suicide," you would put a second mortgage on your home. You know, that's your child or your grandson. And there's an enemy out there that's playing for keeps. Well, we know God's more powerful, so he's allowed Teen Challenge to operate. $30,000 to $60,000 for 3 to 6 months. They have a 10% success rate. Teen Challenge has a 70% success rate for those who graduate after 5-year survey. They did a study in the States. They wanted to know why Teen Challenge has such a success rate and why the other programs were. What were they doing different? Well, they realized it wasn't Teen Challenge. It was the Jesus factor. So basically, we're not government funded. If we were, you'd have to take the Jesus factor out. We rely on community-minded people. We have some sponsors here already. I can't see where it is. I think we have some sponsors here already. But that's what keeps the lights on. That's what keeps the men fed. As the pastor mentioned about, you know, with the economy and stuff like that. You know, even our ministry's taken a hit. You know, we're running in a deficit. We have a lagoon. The lagoon that needs to be, it's not something we want to do, it's something that needs to be done. It's $150,000. If that's not done, it could shut us down. Different things. I'm not going to lay a guilt trip on you or overextend our welcome, but the reality of keeping it open. And we're basically an extension of you guys. You know, Teen Challenge, it's a discipleship program is what it does, and they come alongside you. And then we send them back out to the community, to like-minded churches who allow us to come in and people that are going to walk it out with them. And so we're an extension of you, and you're an extension of us. Basically, I'm going to show you our last video because I don't want to keep you. Is anyone bored? Okay. Anybody bring popcorn? Okay, so we're going to, again, thanks Terry, thanks Jason. It's hard when you give your testimony, it's like a piece of you is, but it's amazing. So if we can rewind this to the beginning, it pretty much is at the beginning, and just hit play and check this out.
I'm asking Jackie Strawloff to come. Jackie, God bless
you. Good morning, church. I was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I was the oldest of 6 children.
We raised her like all the other children. She just went a different route.
I got off track in life, as maybe many of you have. Taking pills, getting high. I was dating the captain of the football team, and he was a senior, and then a cheerleader by the name of Lois, a blonde cheerleader, kind of moved in, and he dumped me for her. And the rejection felt really profound. That was the first time that I tried to kill myself. The next guy that I hooked up with was also older.
One day they called and just said that they got married.
And when I was 6 months pregnant, he had beaten me so badly, went in the hospital, and I had been carrying twins and they were born dead, and I was left sterile.
I didn't even know she was pregnant.
That summer was the summer that I found heroin. I mean, he just spiraled down so fast. Began to have to, go out on the streets and commit all kinds of crime just to continually get the money to feed my habit.
I had 5 other children at home. And I mean, I did not have time to be dealing and going to court in and out and putting up bond money and stuff. I mean, it was just one thing after another.
There was a man that I was living with that was a drug dealer at the time, and one night we went out, and when we came back, Michael was passed out in the bathtub. And so we just pulled him over onto the bed and just kept shooting drugs through the night and didn't pay any attention to it. In the morning I woke up because I was freezing cold. And realized I was freezing cold because he was freezing cold. I can't call anybody or do anything because they'll come and they'll take all our drugs. And at the time, Larry's working construction at this apartment site.
They took the body and wrapped it in the carpet.
And took him downstairs and put him in the back of the truck.
And they carried it out to the job site where he worked. And he was the backhoe, so he got down about 10 to 15 feet.
And we went and buried him. And we swore that we'd never speak about it again. Things got really bad for me mentally after that. That's when my little brother came over to check on me. I asked him if he wanted to try this out. And so I shut him up. And he immediately started convulsing in my arms. Dragged him outside to the balcony. And he died in my arms. And he was only 19 years old.
I was furious at her. I mean, I said, don't talk to me about her. I don't want to see her. I don't care what you do with her. I said, I don't want to hear nothing about it. I'm done.
The day of my brother's funeral, my father came with his friend Frank, and he said, God sent me here to tell you that if you'll turn your life over to him, that he'll change you and he'll raise you up and use you to touch other people's lives. The book was given to me that Frank was talking about. And there was a number on the back of the book. And I went to the phone booth and I made a collect call to that number. And they sent a ticket and they brought me in this program. And I went in this program, I was high, they just put me to bed. The next day I woke up and I wanted to sneak away. And she says, listen, she said, if you'll let us pray for you, she said, I'll drive you back to town and put you on the bus and you can go back to DC. I said, bet, I can do anything for 24 hours, right? And they started praying. And I mean, almost immediately, I could feel fire starting off in my belly right here. And it just grazed through my whole body. It was like I could feel something like scrubbing me from the inside out. Everybody was saying to me, God touched you. God touched you. This is Jesus. He's touching you. I didn't know anything theologically. But I knew when I got up off that floor that I would never, ever, ever be the same again. Ever. And I never was. And then all I wanted to know was, tell me more about Jesus. In my fault, he loved me. He loved me. Not when I got clean, but while I was still dirty. When I finished the program, I wanted more, and I started hearing that David Wilkerson was going to start a Bible school for Teen Challenge graduates.
And she was chosen to go to David Wilkerson's program because they took the best students there. And that's where she met her husband.
I found out on my first anniversary I was pregnant with my son. Yes. And 6 years later, he gave me another gift and gave me a daughter.
Her kids have just turned out great, you know, and I just can't get enough of her now. I mean, we just talk all the time.
And I never once dreamt that Jack would end up becoming a minister herself.
So what the world said was not possible, God said, just watch me. What's been taken from you, what's been done to you, don't worry about it. Because I'm going to give it all back to you. Anymore.